Yeah, I can admit it. I had high hopes for this one. And you know what they say about expectations?
Yeah.
It leads to disappointments. Let's talk about it. What's going on, YouTube? I'm that cologne guy E, and this is SimplyPut Scents. So guys, I haven't done a real, full-fledged, fleshed out review in a while. I kind of got caught up in unboxing stuff with you guys, but I really want to start getting into doing reviews. I really want to start getting into doing more videos and then doing more reviews.
Yeah, oh yes! Woo!
Oh my God. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about a fragrance that came out in the year 2018. In Europe, that is. I mean, I think it was released in February in the US. But anyway, by the house of Mugler, the fragrance is Alien Man. The wonderful folks at Clarins reached out to me to share this fragrance with you guys, and I really want to thank them for the gesture. But regardless, I will do what I always do, and I'm going to give my honest take on this fragrance. Hopefully, though, my honesty doesn't burn any bridges over there with those folks at Clarins, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I'm kind of feeling them. They're really cool, but at the end of the day, I have to be real, and it's gonna do what it do. Now, you know me, I'm a huge Mugler fan, guys. I really appreciate practically every Amen flanker release. I love the original Mugler cologne, and I'm really digging the new Mugler colognes that they just recently released last year. I actually talked about some of those fragrances in a video last year. Needless to say, I'm a huge fan of Mugler. Now, in the video I released last year, I practically begged for Mugler to release a male version of Alien, which is a really famous female fragrance that Mugler did. If you guys at Mugler ever get to watch this, please consider a male version or a male counterpart to Womanity. Call it Manity. Please consider a male version to Alien. Please, I'm begging you. And don't do another Pure. So when I heard that Mugler was finally releasing Alien for men, I was like, oh, word? Yeah, okay, I'm all for that. Knowing the Mugler aesthetic, which is bold, unique, and never typical, I was excited to see where this could go. I mean, you know, Alien or Mugler, when it comes to men's fragrances, the possibilities are just endless, you know. Again, guys, I was really excited to see where this would go. And my expectations were through the roof. So did this fragrance meet my expectations? Well, let's get into the smell. Well, I can tell you straight up what this does not smell like. It doesn't smell extraterrestrial at all. It doesn't. It smells like an alien who's trying to blend in with the rest of us.
Thanks a lot, Obama.
Up until this scent, the only fragrances that reminded me of other Mugler fragrances is other Mugler fragrances. But Alien Man, however, it smells trendy, guys. It's dark, it's slightly resinous with a fruity floral mix, which are kind of like a dime a dozen these days. But what makes this fragrance a little bit more interesting is the osmanthus and the leather and how it works in the fragrance. Osmanthus adds a very leathery, dark, fruity smell, which smells kind of a lot like apricots or like prunes. I know apricots, whatever, apricots. That's how I say it. But anyway, yeah, it kind of has that fruity kind of smell to it. The leather in Alien Man isn't really that animalic. I mean, it leans a little bit serious, but it could be dressed down. I feel like it comes across a little bit powdery as it calms down later on in the dry down, but it kind of stays distinctively masculine throughout it. At the end of the day, this does smell good. Now, Alien Man's performance isn't what we're used to from Mugler. For dark scents made by Mugler, it may be among the lightest fragrances ever made by the brand so far. That'll probably appeal to some dudes out there who thought that like a lot of the Mugler fragrances are a bit too heavy and a little bit too dense. You know, like right now, the trend in fragrance is light. You know, everybody likes fragrances that are not too strong. If you ask people what they like in a fragrance, they'll tell you they don't want a fragrance that's too strong. And it's weird because like back in the day, everybody liked a fragrance that was too strong. And now it seems like completely the opposite. So the trends are fragrances that are not too strong, but this one I think would appeal to that type of person. It's not too strong at all. It lasts between 4 to 6 hours with like kind of close to the skin sillage. It's not really a fragrance that's gonna project too much, and it's not gonna be like a scent that shouts into the room before you walk into it at all. It's kind of more on the subtle side for a dark fragrance. When to wear. Now this fragrance in my opinion is more like on the night out category in my opinion. I think this is a fragrance which you could wear in the daytime in the fall or on cool winter days because it's not really an obnoxious fragrance. You could easily wear this fragrance on summer nights, also making it a very versatile option for a dark scent. And I really don't see most women hating it on a guy, so I think it could also make a good date scent. Is Alien Man by Mugler unique? No, not at all. Again, this alien smells very human. Parts of it kind of reminded me of Sauvage Eau de Parfum. Parts of it reminded me of Y Eau de Parfum by YSL. Parts of it reminded me of Prada L'Homme Intense. Parts of it reminded me of Icon Elite by Dunhill. It's kind of like a Frankenstein fragrance. And I'm not saying that Mugler purposefully went out and tried to make all these popular scents in one fragrance, but it kind of has a similar style. And that's kind of what happens when you create fragrances that are trendy. They start to smell familiar. And this is a very familiar, dark, masculine scent with a slight powdery edge. Now, Alien Man, in my opinion, when it comes to value, is pretty decent. The value of the fragrance is very good. It's priced at $88 for a 3.4 ounce bottle. And for that price, it's very Mugler-like. Everyone that's doing a dark fragrance these days uses that to automatically raise their prices to around $125 or above. And Mugler goes the opposite route and offers a dark leather osmanthus scent for $88 for a 3.4 ounce. I think that's pretty cool, you know. I think the price is worthy. Now, this is definitely a likable men's fragrance, but it will probably not be your most complimented scent. There is a masculinity in this fragrance, which I think is really cool, and it has something going for it, and it won't choke a lot of people out. Unlike a lot of other dark fragrances, which most people perceive as heavy, this one is easy to wear. Most guys out there who wear dark fragrances will probably get a lot less frowns from their wife or girlfriends wearing this fragrance. You know, that matters to a lot of us, so yeah. Negatives. Now, the negatives that people can say about this fragrance are pretty noteworthy. I think the main negative a lot of people might say is that this fragrance is almost too trendy, that there are way too many similar options on the market at the moment. And now I do think this fragrance is competing with a lot of fragrances within its category, but Alien Man has nuances that are definitely something to be appreciated. Basically, guys, what I pretty much mean is this fragrance won't come across like a body wash, you know? And that's something worthy. I think the smell is common, but different enough from its competition to warrant a look if you're into dark fragrances, especially if you like dark fragrances but you think they're too strong most of the time. So as you guys know, I like to rank fragrances in what I call the page rating system, and that is P for poor, A for average, G for good, and E for exceptional. So, where does Alien Man by Mugler land on the page? So guys, I want you to sit back and imagine something. Imagine if Dior did Poison for Men and it smelled like Dylan Blue by Versace.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no.
Think about that really quick. Just let that settle in there for a second. Dior fans will be annoyed at such a wasted opportunity. And I feel that's how a lot of Mugler fans felt about Alien Man. I mean, cause like the reviews about it wasn't the best. But is this fragrance horrible? Not at all, by any means. This is not a bad fragrance. It smells great, but it's also been there, done that. I think it would have been a lot better received if it would have came out 2 years before. What separates Alien Man from most fragrances like it is that this fragrance is a lot less juvenile. A lot of fragrances within this category smell a lot cheaper to me, and it's yet a lot more expensive than this fragrance by $50 or more sometimes. I think the people who don't like this fragrance, I don't think they judge the scent as much as they judge the fact that the fragrance didn't meet their expectation. And this is completely understandable. I mean, Mugler set themselves up for such a backlash when they named this fragrance Alien Man, in my opinion. Judging this fragrance though, I have to rate this fragrance an A, or an average. Now to me, this is a rating which fits fragrances that aren't quite at that G or good level, but they're definitely worth trying. Like Simply Put, this is a fragrance that I think you should definitely try if you prefer light fragrances and you don't like dark fragrances because you think they're too strong. Like, there's a lot of people like that out there, and if that sounds like you, this might be a fragrance that you might appreciate. But I just felt like it didn't meet my standard for a G fragrance, and that's just my preference. I just prefer dark leaning fragrances to have a little bit more oomph. If I didn't own a lot of dark fragrances and I wanted a mature but modern and mellow scent under $100, I would consider this fragrance for sure. Like, I think you just have to ignore the name and you might appreciate it a lot more, you know? That would be my advice. Don't expect Alien. This is like Roger, to be honest with you guys. I just wish this fragrance was more risky. It's a safer fragrance than I hoped for. I wanted an Alien Man to be a risky weirdo, you know? Kind of like Amen and all the other Amens that came out. Like, they're all like weirdos that are awesome, you know what I mean? I just wished Alien kind of followed in that tradition. Comment down below, let me know what you think, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I really would appreciate newcomers to the fam. And yeah, thank you so much guys for watching. I'm E, and this is SimplyPut Scents, and I'm Simply O-U-T.
And you know what else? Screw you guys, I'm going home. Screw you guys, home.